Wicked for Good is out, and you may as well go and see it. It is a pure pop culture drug straight to the veins of our society. Every little girl you see will be dressed as either Elphaba or Glinda, and they will be singing the songs wherever they go for the next 6 months. Take it from me. I lived through the Frozen epidemic of 2013. Those were dark days, my friend. Dark days. But as a massive Wizard of Oz fan, I do have some thoughts. Hey, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV, and if you love movies as much as I do, hit that subscribe button and get notified when new content's posted. I can't believe I have to say this, but as I learned from my review of Frankenstein, some of you need spoiler warnings about a movie based on a 22-year-old play, which is based on a 30-year-old book, which is based on characters from an 86-year-old movie, which was originally based on a book published 125 years ago and lives on in our collective psyches in a way no other intellectual property has and ever likely will. We will be talking about spoilers about the movie Wicked for Good today, okay? There is no doubt in my mind, having seen Wicked for Good, that this is 2025's big Hollywood blockbuster. I'm predicting it'll set box office records as little girls will go to the theater multiple times to watch and sing along, as they did with the first one. And for good reason. It's a good film. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo return for the filmic version of the second half of the beloved stage play. There are 2 new songs that weren't in the Broadway version. Cynthia Erivo's No Place Like Home and The Girl in the Bubble, performed by Ariana Grande. I mean, what can I say? Both women are fantastic in their roles as Glinda, the Good Witch, and Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. I gave Cynthia Erivo huge props for her performance in Wicked, the first part, because that was her story. In Wicked, Elphaba transforms from a shy girl into the Wicked Witch. If Wicked was Cynthia Erivo's movie, Wicked for Good is Ariana Grande's. In Wicked for Good, Glinda is stuck between being the powerless yet pretty face of a lying wizard and following her moral compass and joining forces with Elphaba to defeat the wizard. First, the good stuff. You can tell they spent a lot of money on this movie. It looks gorgeous. I know it sounds silly, but if you look back at my review of Wicked, I wasn't able to say the same thing about that film. Director John M. Chu decided to desaturate the first half of Wicked so that when Elphaba made it to Oz and came out of her shell, he could turn up the saturation, implying she's a fully realized person now. The beginning of Wicked is dull and drab. By the time the women get to Oz, it's bright and colorful. I thought that decision was a mistake. For a movie based on source material that famously transitioned from black and white to vibrant color, I thought it was a mistake to mess with the vibrancy of the colors on Wicked. But I digress. You're going to see a lot of people talking about the music and the dancing and the costumes, but I want to draw your attention to one sequence in particular. Watch for Glinda's performance of the girl in the bubble. The camera doesn't cut for the entire performance. No, it's not exactly a oneer, as they call it. It's several shots stitched together, but it's done in a really clever way. Glinda is singing to her reflection in the mirror, and the camera travels through the mirror. What was once a reflection is now the subject of our shot. The camera travels through several mirrors. I counted 3, but there might have been more before I noticed what was happening. It's reminiscent of this shot in Contact, and I can guarantee none of the girls dressed as Elphaba in the theater I saw it in last night caught on to what was going on. I was able to find this behind-the-scenes shot of them filming that scene. Check out in this monitor, you can see the blue they used to stitch multiple takes together. Ultimately, Wicked for Good left me a little disappointed. Not in the film. It's extremely well done and deserves all the accolades it receives. No, my problem is with how the movie chose to adhere to the stage play and not the 1995 book or even the original 1939 Wizard of Oz. So first, let's put the Wizard of Oz into the context of the Wicked universe. You can't call Wicked a sequel or a prequel, it's more of a parallel story. In the timeline, we start with Wicked, the first movie, then Wicked for Good comes next. Halfway through Wicked for Good, Madame Morrible, played by Michelle Yeoh, creates a cyclone which pulls in Dorothy in her house. The original Wizard of Oz runs parallel to the second half of Wicked for Good. And that's where I ran into trouble. Let's start small and work up to my biggest gripe. Similar to the Star Wars prequels, Wicked for Good shows us the origin story of the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. Tessa's boyfriend Bach becomes the Tin Man. The Cowardly Lion was a cub in the first Wicked and has now grown. There's a scene where the lion confronts Elphaba and they have a conversation about what she's been up to and what she's doing and how he doesn't agree with it. And the Scarecrow is Fiyero, the guy that Glinda and Elphaba are both pining after. So how come when Dorothy meets them, none of them seem to know the witch? Who's her? The only excuse given is for Fiyero, the Scarecrow. It seems he hatched a plan with Elphaba, but the Lion and the Tin Man are like R2-D2 and C-3PO in Star Wars. They should remember Anakin Skywalker. Now on to my most important gripe. When you're making sequels or prequels or whatever the hell Wicked is, you never ever change the mythos of the original. And in the mythos of the original, water melts witches. I am as convinced of that fact as I am of the fact that by closing your eyes, the ark spirits won't be able to get you, or that difficult tasks can be completed with ease in a montage. Water melts witches. But in Wicked for Good, the whole water and witches thing seems to be part of the wizard's propaganda campaign against the Wicked Witch. Elphaba fakes her death and runs off with the Scarecrow or Fiero. Yeah, I'm not buying it. In fact, even the original 1995 book, Wicked, had an ambiguous ending at best. We aren't sure what happens to Elphaba. They changed the ending of Wicked for the Broadway production to one where Elphaba lives, and honestly, I don't think it adds anything to the story. If anything, I think an ambiguous ending, or even just killing Elphaba off, would have been a better decision. While we're on the subject, the film handles the overlap with The Wizard of Oz cleverly, never fully showing Dorothy and gang, but the one scene where they do revisit is when Dorothy throws the bucket of water on the Wicked Witch. We watch her melt in shadow. And as we're watching the witch melt, I was waiting and waiting for the one line that never came.
Oh, what a world, what a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, look out! Look out! I'm going!
They really milked that death scene, huh? Totally omitted. That's why I can't fully get behind Wicked for Good. So you're telling me for the entirety of The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch was acting wicked? It would have been so much more satisfying if Elphaba embraced her wickedness and became the thing everyone wanted her to be in the end, wicked, and then died. That's punk rock. It also would have given Elphaba a character arc in Wicked for Good. As it stands, her character arc is in the first film. But like I said, Wicked for Good is Glinda's movie. Glinda has a character arc. She goes from being a puppet of the wizard to overthrowing him. Elphaba doesn't change much in Wicked for Good. And that's only because they tacked on a Hollywood ending, or in this case, a Broadway ending. I guess they wouldn't sell as much Wicked merch if the Wicked Witch was truly wicked. You may as well go out and see Wicked for Good because it's the movie everyone, and I mean everyone, will be talking about this holiday season. Anyway, these are my thoughts on Wicked for Good. I'd love to read yours in the comments below. As always, film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.